Hi, everybody. You're about to watch a portion, a taste, a mouthful, and a amuse-bouche, actually a rather large mouthful, of our recent Patreon-only episode with Jacob Berger.
I do this because I love Jews. It disgusts me the way Zionism has hijacked Judaism and tries to make us a monolith. It's disgusting.
That's how generous we are. You know, we make a Patreon-only episode, we put it behind a paywall, and then we give you a good part of it anyway.
You've earned it.
But we hope it will whet your palate and get you interested in joining our Patreon at patreon.com/badhasbara so you can get early access to all episodes. And in the future, when we put out Patreon-only content like this, which we plan to do, you will get full access to it. And some more incentive for you to do so on this episode is there's a whole section with Matt Lieb.
Fuck.
Where the fuck were you?
I'm sorry.
He said smilingly.
See, Matt was late for this Jacob Berger interview. He didn't get to join us. He had some things come up. They sounded like valid reasons to me.
Listen, I have a baby.
We're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But Matt and I hung out for another full 45 minutes or so, made fun of some wacky Hasbara. Here's a little clip.
And because it is important for us to tell you that you are going to get a glimpse of the peoples of Israel in all its entity.
Hold on. In all its what?
In all its sanity, bro.
That's so funny. You're about to get how normal and sane we are.
Yeah.
Everyone
Finally.
ready to get, are you ready to get not crazy?
Yeah. Let's get ready to normal.
Wasn't that tasty? Don't you want more?
For real, for sure, do you want more?
Well, go to patreon.com/badhasbara and get your fill. Okay, here comes the Jacob interview, or at least a good portion of it. And from the river to the sea, subscribe at patreon.com/badhasbara for the entirety.
Tell us a bit about the activism you've been doing since October 7th. And then we're gonna take a look at one of your wonderful man on the street videos that you've been making. But tell us more generally.
Absolutely. So just to give you a sense of who I am, like I said, my name is Jacob Berger. I'm a TV film actor, content creator, and activist. I used to be a social worker before I became an actor. So I've always been very motivated by social justice issues, fighting for the oppressed, all those types of things. People called me a sellout when I started making content for Black Lives Matter in 2013. And, they call me a sellout now to Jews because I'm supporting Palestine. I came out day one after October 7th, making a story post first. I was like, guys, this is horrible what happened, but we need to remind ourselves that this has not happened in a vacuum, that Palestinians have been oppressed for 75 years in October.
Can I ask you a quick question though, Jacob?
Yeah.
How's the selling out thing going for you? Are you really capitalizing? I don't know. It's the obvious money move. We all did it for the material rewards.
I mean, Daniel, I don't know if my George Soros check got lost in the mail or what, or the checks from Iran, but I haven't gotten any yet. And it's really annoying because everyone keeps saying I'm making all this money from supporting, because everyone knows, obviously, also, I work in TV, film, and Hollywood. Everyone knows that the industry is run by, Palestinian Muslims, so obviously,
no doubt.
I'm making the smart career choice speaking out, obviously. So
yeah, 100%. I mean, look, HR, I think there's been some turnover. So, some of the internal correspondence, the accounting, but hang in there. But anyway,
to finish answering your question. So a week after October 7th, I made a video statement, like a 4-minute long, like a Jewish American perspective on Israel Palestine, and it went viral. It got like 1 million views on my Instagram. It went viral on TikTok, and that's when the Arab world, Muslim world, started noticing me and stuff. And then I went out to DC later that week with If Not Now and Jewish Voices for Peace, and we, it was very nice to be around other anti-Zionist Jews who feel the same way, and it was very moving to be there. And then I just started working, but they weren't really my pace. Honestly, I have kind of issues with some of the pro-Palestinian Jewish organizations. I feel like a lot of them are really just there to make themselves feel better. Like they don't actually want resistance and revolution. And so I think it's just like, okay, I'm not one of the bad ones. Like, you know, like they do a lot of cool things and stuff like that. I'm not trying to hate, and we're all allies, but I think you understand what I'm getting at. Like they're not revolution. That's why I really march with the Muslim organizations, like within our lifetime and things like that. People are really trying to create disorder and stuff in the world, so to speak.
Yeah, you're a disruptor. I really get that about you. And I think whatever you think about different activist organizations, some are to my taste, some aren't, but everyone doing what they're best at, to me, is generally speaking the best principle. So a group like Standing Together in Israel, for a lot of people, that's just not sufficient, what they're calling for. And I get that in their context, they're putting themselves actually at quite a bit of risk, and they put their bodies on the line, and there's a fair amount of collaboration going on. But anyway, I want to talk about you.
Yeah.
And what is it about you? How did you grow up and come up that this kind of physical confrontation style of activism, this, you know, this, what can we say, agitation of fecal matter, is your go-to? Like, what is it? How does that resonate?
I think it's just because, like, you know, I go to a lot of these rallies. I go to rallies every week, and it was funny. At first, people thought I was an undercover cop because I do look like a cop, like a tall white guy at a Muslim rally, like, you know. But then when my first video went viral, they were like, "Oh, he's with us. Okay, like, cool." You know, like, I don't go out of my way looking for Zionists, but they like to come to our rallies and like try and harass our people and stuff like that. And, you know, we have a group of Orthodox Jews that are always with us. And obviously they're religious men. They're not going to get aggressive. They literally, they'll have the bad faith conversation with these people that I refuse to have. Like because the reality is Zionists feel so comfortable going up to the Orthodox Jews at our rallies, because it's like, okay, I can say horrible genocidal things to this guy, like, but they won't go up to someone who's Muslim or Palestinian and say the same, because they know, like,
yeah, they feel comfortable going up to an Orthodox Jew and saying you should have died in Auschwitz. Right. With you, it's a little bit more iffy because you might do something, you know?
Yeah. So that's why, like, I'm a New York Jew. Like, I don't play around with that shit. So, like, that one video, I don't know if you've seen it, with the blonde lady, she was screaming at them, "You're not real Jews. They're killing you. Not real Jews." And I was like, lady, we're all Jews here. Like, look, I don't care how much of a scumbag Zionist I think you are. I'll never try to invalidate your Judaism and say you're not a Jew just because you support genocide.
Hey, Blondie, you're as Jewish as me. With that Nordic-looking face.
She was as Semitic as a Chinese person. Like, let's be so for real. Like, that's why it's crazy to me. Like, people legit think, like, we Ashkenazi Jews like myself who come from Russia and Ukraine and everything like that, that we're from Judea, and that I'm like, bro, we're not. Like, stop it. Like, it's just so disingenuous. And, like, you know, I just have certain questions that I do to piss, like, the Zionists, they hate me because I break down every single thing about, it's about hating Jews, and they're like, no, I'm Jewish. Like, I do this because I love Jews. It disgusts me the way Zionism has hijacked Judaism and tries to make us a monolith. It's disgusting. Yeah. I've always stood up for the oppressed. My grandfather, Arnold Wolf, he was a famous rabbi out of Chicago. He marched with Dr. King, civil rights leaders, always on the forefront with things. And if you look at history, Jewish Americans have always been at the forefront of important political and social movements. So I'm just carrying in that tradition, and I don't believe I don't know if anyone really believes the Zionist lies anymore. I'm pretty sure it's only them in their echo chamber that they believe this stuff. And that's why what I do is important, because I also have like, a lot of my content, a lot of my audience is predominantly Black and Latino, and through no fault of their own, a lot of them had no knowledge or history of this conflict of Israel-Palestine. And when I started getting messages from people saying, Jacob, you really educated me on this topic, for free Palestine, like, all day long, you know?
Well, it's a shame. It's a shame Kamala didn't hold one of her, you know, international relations classrooms on this topic. She could have said, Israel is a country. Israel is a country. It's a small country, you know, the way she did with Russia and Ukraine, and explained it to everybody. I mean, it's so good what you're doing. You're educating people. You're also giving voice to the rage, as let's eat a knish under the coconut tree, says Adam. Shout out to producer Adam Levin. You know, there are so many different reactions, I think, to, emotionally speaking, this genocide, these horrors, this horror show that we're seeing brings up rage for some people, or at some times it brings up grief. And there are some commentators that are they're really good at channeling the grief. I think part of what Matt and I do is we channel the absurdity, but what you're doing with it's like you're giving a rageful, strong, masculine, if I'm allowed to say that, version of an American Jew who can really
I'm really just matching their energy, quite honestly, Daniel, because they'll come in there screaming like you rape baby, this, that, and the third. You're not like, yo, lady, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm from New York. I'm a actor, comedian. I'm gonna say funny. That's why they're like, go back to Gaza. I'm like, lady, they would love to go back to Gaza. They're Palestinian, but Israel will not allow Palestinians the right to return. Like they run right into the point,
This is why I could never do what you do, because if someone shouted at me, you rape babies, I'd say, no, I always get their consent. See, and then that's where my mind goes. Don't clip that. Don't clip that.
It's good to troll them. It's good to troll them.
Yes, like that, that's what my brain glitches when people say absurd things, and it glitches. Yeah,
I have these Zionist influencers who will make a video about me, and all I'll do is repost it. I don't even make a real video. I don't want to get them, and then they start crying victim when my community goes over there and disrupts their echo chamber and starts commenting how they're genocidal freaks and everything like that. And then they're crying about it. I'm like, I didn't dox anyone or anything. I just literally don't shoot at the king and then miss and then get mad.
And I bet I bet they're fans of libs of TikTok. That's all she does. Or that's all she used to do. In any case.
They're all cowards on TikTok, because I'm big on TikTok. I have bigger following on TikTok, and I'm very active. I go live every day. I go on panels. 99% of the people, everyone loves me. But 99%, even the Zionists love me. I have them give me gifts and stuff like that. I'm like, look, if you want to stick around, make sure you subscribe. You'll never miss a live. You can hate on me every time I'm on live. It doesn't get under my skin because I've been on the internet for many years. So this is not new to me. This is not new territory for me in that regard.
Man, if you can get Zionists to subscribe to you just
because I've had Zionists give me money
because they can't get enough of. That's like someone being your sugar. Stern. That's like someone being your sugar daddy and hate fucking you at the same time.
Right. It's that Howard Stern effect. Like the people who like me watch me an hour. The people who hate me watch me for 2 hours. Like it's that same sort of
good for you
effect. But I forgot what the point.
Sorry. That's what happens on this show. We forget the point and then we just find a new point. I want to get to one of your videos, but first, have you heard from any? Because I've had some people tell me that my content has, in some ways, deprogrammed them, or at least helped them along in a deprogramming that was bound to happen.
Oh yeah, I get messages every day from Jewish people that tell me, Jacob, I feel so alone because all my family are Zionists, and but seeing you so boldly state unapologetically, like, I do not support Israel. We are not all Zionists. That gives me the confidence to speak out. And I also get messages from Arabs and Muslims who tell me, Jacob, I thought that all Jewish people were Zionists because that's the only experience I've had. But watching your videos and seeing the comments make me realize that we can be together. That's not the case. So the work I'm doing, honestly, Daniel, I'm not trying to be grandiose, but this is far bigger than me at this point.
Yeah.
I just happen to have a platform, and I'm a Jewish American, and it's my duty because at the end of the day, the way we change the things, the way America treats Israel and Palestine, it's going to fall on us American Jews. We are the ones that have to push the ball.
You're not just an American Jew. You're a New York Jew, which is that's the top of the mountain in terms of American Jewish identity. This is where we landed. This is the default accent, the cadences of New York, of American Jews. And it's also the real Jewish state.
And that's why, yes, it's definitely the real Jewish state. I always talk about the Jew states, like New York, California, Florida. But, one thing that the Zionists constantly do, and when I get into little panel discussions, they try and devaluate my Judaism. They say, you're a self-hating Jew. You're a capo. You're a Judan. Literally calling me a Judan rat without any irony at all, knowing that the Nazis literally called us Judan rats. And they're like, the irony goes all over their head. Like, they don't even realize. And the fact that they call me a capo, it just shows the self-victimization complex of Zionists that they feel like, because for those that don't know, I'm sure your audience probably does know, but a capo was the Jewish guards in the concentration camps that helped the Nazis day-to-day operations and basically, sellouts. So in their mind,
sellouts who sold out under extremely dire situations where their own survival. So in a way, it's also a kind of hatred of victimhood because of the compromises people make under the fucking conditions of Auschwitz.
So Daniel, it just to land the plane here.
Yeah.
It shows their level of victim mentality. They think that as an American Jew right now, that we're in the same conditions of Nazi Germany. That people literally think I'm walking us into that. I'm Goebbels walking us into the gas chambers. Like, do you have any like that is so fucking offensive to our ancestors? Like, my family came here before the Holocaust, but like, it is just gross the way that they try and use that analogy. That because I say free Palestine because I don't support genocide, that I'm a capo somehow. Like, that is absolutely nuts.
Well, it tells you how divorced they are from. Adam says if we're the sellouts, then Zionists think they're the punk rockers. How divorced they are from the actual history of the Holocaust and what it really means.
And religion too. And religion too. They don't even read the Torah. Like, I'm like a New York Jew, so I'm not religious. I'm actually atheist. I know that people might get mad about that, but I don't need a religious textbook to tell me how to be a good person and what's wrong and seeing what's happening over there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very much a cultural Jew. It's like, we celebrate the high holy days. It's very much part of our personality. But let's be for real. This is what you don't need to be a religious person to watch what's happening and realize that's fucked up and wrong,
100%. I mean, of course, you do have religious people in Israel,
right?
Hijack that government.
That was what I bring it up was that people try to say we have this biblical connection to the land, but I'm like, if you read the Torah literally tells you Abraham is from Babylon, who is the father of all messianic religions.
He's Iraqi.
And it even says in Genesis 12, go forth from your land to this other. I'm mixing up the quote, but basically it's like, go forth from your land, which is Babylon, to this other place where the Canaanites were there. And God told them to slay the Canaanites. And the Canaanite, I would guarantee you, Palestinians have far more Canaanite blood than me or Benjamin Netanyahu, which isn't even his real name. He was born in Philadelphia. Fuck?
Benjamin Milivusky or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
I have a couple of Israeli friends who have decided to call themselves Hebrew Canaanites as opposed to Israelis because they've, they're the entire in solidarity with the Palestinians of that land. They don't want to consider themselves part of this Israeli state. They're looking for and they have a YouTube channel. Anyway, I want to get to one of your videos because one of the things I also appreciate about you, I mean, people say you're an anti-Semite or you're self-hating. No, man, you made this beautiful video, which was actually geared towards us Jews about keeping us safe on the streets of New York City. Like, these are safety tips, right?
Yeah.
So why don't we...
I mean, it's mocking the sort of clutching of
don't give it away. Don't give it away. Don't give it away.
Don't give it away. Okay. Hey, everybody. New York Jew here. And today we're going to be doing part 2 of this series. We're going to learn how to mind your own business and not self-victimize. So before we go into this new topic, let's see what I'm talking about.
This person, can you come and help me, please? Listen, I feel unsafe. Can you come and help me? Safe and I'm afraid.
That's pretty wild stuff, right? Let me show you now, as a Jew, how to walk past the crowd without a problem. Here, come on. We're walking here. I'm walking here. See, there's no problem. No one doesn't look or anything like that. You just mind your business. You don't have to look at anything. All right, so you see how that worked. Now let's try it by having star David out. Let's see if we get any different reaction. Come on, let's go. We're walking here. We are all Palestinians.
Proudly
no
displaying
bothering
it.
me. I mean, as long as you don't harass people, there's not going to be a problem.
My family fought Hitler, not like you Zionist cowards.
So free Palestine, exactly, all day.
Beautiful.
That was part 2, actually, but yeah, it's still, the message is still there. Like, it's the self-victimization of America, especially New York. I mean, it's just so preposterous. Like, when people in Palestine and Gaza literally can't walk the streets because they're literally being blown up. And you, Miss Zarin, on the Upper West Side, want to say you feel unsafe because you walk by a college campus and there's some people protesting. Give me a fucking break.
Well, it's like you're just being, not to sound like a dem, but like you're being weird if you're like disrupting a a protest of people calling for an end to a genocide by yelling at other Jews that you're not really a Jew. And like, okay, if you want to be a weirdo, fine. If you want to, I don't know, go to the Met Gala in a furry outfit, or if you want to walk through Central Park in some kind of outlandish, I'm not coming up with an example, but don't be upset when people like stop you and say, hey, you're acting a little strange, a little antisocial, and you're also if you want to dump a bear cub in Central Park, thank you very much.
Oh yeah, that's
So
what's the deal with that?
funny story. I killed a bear and I was going to skin it. What do you got there?
Oh no, it's a little balls, just free Palestine.
Oh, I should grab my little watermelon. What's it called? Stress ball.
Matt still isn't here. That's crazy.
We still don't have Matt.
That's crazy.
Adam, what has he sent any more excuses? Do we believe him at this point, or is he just genuinely detained? I think we're doing great without him.
Oh yeah, we're doing great, but I just want to make sure, like
he's on a flight to Haifa. Oh, that's so great. It was either take this podcast to the top of the charts or make Aliyah. And
so anyway, so
the safe option.
The video that we just showed, that was actually at a press conference after the cops had violently attacked us when we were doing a protest a couple days prior. That was in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, which is obviously a humongous Palestinian community out there.
Yeah. Also home of Tanurine, one of the best Palestinian restaurants in all of New York City.
We can argue for days and weeks of which restaurant is the best out there.
Are you an Ayat guy?
Well, I have a few people that they feed me at their restaurant, so like fire kebab and stuff like that. I need to stay loyal to them. But yeah, it's just for a while when I was doing content, it was all kind of serious. It was at the rallies. It was kind of had a very serious tone to it. But then I was like, you know what? Like, I'm a comedian. Like, and these people are being so fucking ridiculous in their white women tears and their crocodile tears, and they're pretending like they feel unsafe. I need to roast them. I need to do something. So I started making comedy content about the topic, and people really, really respond to it. The first one I did of teaching Zios how to walk, that one did I think 10 million views on my TikTok.
Wow.
And people just really respond to I did one recently where Hamas was literally Abu Ubaidah was thanking me in the thing. It's a really funny skit where he's like, we will bring the fight. He's in Arabic. I actually had a guy from Gaza say it for me. And he's like, and by the way, before we go, we just want to thank Jacob Berger. I'm like, what? Like every night, every time we get back from fighting the infidels, there's nothing we like more than just cuddling up and watching some of his videos. Wallahi, it is the best. And I'm just like, oh, and then Israel calls, I have some other videos too that are like way too, I had this one where, because, I did this other one where it's like when your Jewish mom wants you still to have Jewish babies, and she sets me up with a pro-Pally girl. It's a really cute skit, honestly. But I want to do one where I see a kidnap poster and I go walk up to it and I go to rip it off, and then another hand at the same time, like in the movies, and it's just like my perfect pro-Pally Muslim babe, and we fall in love, and it's just, I have a very dark sense of humor. There's some things that I want to do, but I'm like, I don't know, they're gonna kind of bug out if I do it.
Yeah, well, and where did this this strong sense of solidarity with the New York Muslim community start? Were you already deeply connected, or was it just you kind of stood up on your principles, and that's where you met them?
Yeah, it's just where I gravitated towards. So like I said, the first week I went out to DC and joined If Not Now and Jewish Voices of Peace because, I'm Jewish. So I was like, let me go with some fellow Jews, see what the vibe is. But like I said, wasn't really my pace. So then I checked out Within Our Lifetime, Wool Palestine. And that was way more like the messages and the conversations that we're having were way more about they were way more my speed. So I've learned so much about Islam and Muslims because, I grew up in a post 9/11 world. I was 17 when 9/11 happened.
Mm-hmm.
And just the amount of Islamophobia that became normalized in our country. And it's gonna, I'm sure it's being studied now, but I didn't really have any close Muslim friends at that time for most of my life. And it was always kind of this weird thing where it's I don't really quite get it. Okay, they pray 5 times a day and da-da-da. But it's oh, Bin Laden, scary. Just the typical American, way that we've been brainwashed. And what I've learned over the last 10 months has been honestly super eye-opening. just to see that, you know, Muslims do not have hatred in their heart at all for Jews. This is about Zionism. It is not about Jews. You know, Judaism and Catholicism and Christianity are constantly referenced in the Quran. And just, you know, working together. I'm not trying, like I said, I'm not trying to be grandiose, but I do know how important my voice as a Jewish American is, especially when so many content creators are cowards and refuse to put anything on the line. And I'm calling people out. I'm not gonna say anyone specific, but like, I just think about everyone who was rah Black Lives Matter 2020, like making their profile picture black, you know, all this sort of armchair activism. Maybe they went to one rally, but they're dead quiet about Palestine. Or all of these fake liberals who think they're liberal, they think they're progressive, except Palestine. Like, you know, to me, you can't be a progressive if you don't support Palestine. It doesn't compute.
Well, international affairs has always been a weak spot of the American liberal left. They don't connect the solidarity struggles here with the solidarity struggles. Now, if you look, or even just the direct connection, it's not even an intersection. It's like they directly connect. One road leads to the other. But the people in Ferguson understood that their struggle and Gaza's struggle were interconnected, and the people in Gaza realized that too. You would see, and you see George Floyd murals on the apartheid wall in Israel, you know. But
I mean, that's the other thing is like, if you know anything about history, like Black liberation and Palestinian liberation have always been hand in hand. You look at writings of Malcolm X, of Stokely
James
Carmichael, of Fred Hampton, Black Panthers. That's always been a part. So it's really important to understand. That's why on Saturday we had a rally for Palestine, but it was also a rally for Sonia Massey, because we realized that this is all interconnected. You know, the police, the way they oppress people there to protect the Palestine, and NYPD is trained by IDF. Like, so it's all like interconnected. Like, you know, and that's what we're trying to do. I want people to wake up. I want people to get angry. I wake up every day with anger in my, not anger like, you know what I mean? I'm just very much like mad, and I wish I could do more, Daniel. I honestly wish I could do more. I do everything I can, like going to rallies and making content, but some days it's just really hard, Daniel, you know?
Yeah, man.
I'm sorry. It's just, this is a very hard journey, and I just don't get it. There's people dying every day, and America's just letting it happen. Literally, I watch people putting babies' body parts into bags, and then I get gaslit and told that I'm not a real Jew, or that I want people to see it is just preposterous. I'm sorry to get so emotional, but this is real life to me.
Yeah, well, there's no apology necessary. I mean, you're a brave man for being willing to show your scars and show your pain at this. We're all feeling it, but not all of us have the gift of wearing our hearts on our sleeves like you do. And this podcast is, you know, we keep the pain at bay with an ironic 10-foot pole, and I really appreciate
I try
you
to keep the comedy, but like
no.
Really...
But that's not a rule. That's just me and Matt's handicap, really.
Right.
So you're very, very welcome to be passionate here, and you're right. It's to even stop for a second and consider what's actually happening and what's happened to our people. As a result, what's happened to the soul of the Jewish people that Zionism has done. There's so much to grieve and mourn.
Yeah, I mean, it's now to the point, like, because I remember before October 7th, like, I looked like when I met someone who was Jewish, it would be like this instant connection, like, oh, we're Jews, we're Mishpucha, like, we're like, you know, we have this same race and everything. But now when I meet Jewish people, it's like, okay, like, are they Zionists or are they like, you know, and it's this loss of community. It sucks that, like, I've had literally everyone turn their back on me. Like, all the friends I used to have, like, my best friend stopped talking to me because I said fuck the police because he loves the cops or whatever. Like, or just people who come out of the woodworks. Like, I'm literally like got a whole new group of friends now. Like, I'm not really rocking with anyone who's not talking about. Like, I unfollowed the other day pretty much all my social media friends because there's so many people who watch everything I post every single day. They never comment, they never message, and they'll try and put, oh, I need to go do my research. Bro, we're 10 months in. Don't give me that research line bullshit, all right? You know, it just, I don't know what it's going to take to get people to wake up and be as passionate as we are about this issue. It just sucks that Americans just want to sit here in their tiny, comfortable, like, apartment with their air conditioning and their TV and their phone and just zone the fuck out. And it's not normal for me to be on my feed and it's like, get ready with me as I go to da da da, and then a baby's head literally blown off from his body, and that like it just. That's why, like, I haven't really made normal content the last few months. It doesn't feel right to go back to my normal type of content of comedy. Even though I make comedy videos, it just doesn't feel right to me. Like, when there's so much shit going on, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just hope that you find a way to take care of yourself through this so that you can keep it up rather than, you know, burning out, which is always a.
Oh no, I do. I keep it up. I don't feel burnt out anyway. I need to get it. I literally cry every day, so this is nothing that I'm ashamed about. Like, real men know how to cry and be in it. Like, it's the fact that I'm in touch with my emotions is the reason I'm so passionate about what I do.
Part of what I meant by healthy masculine when I described you. So take it as a compliment.
Right.